The four horsemen are often seen as harbingers of the end times and the impending judgment of God. They represent the various forms of suffering and destruction that will occur before the ultimate triumph of God over evil. But what does each horseman symbolize? Before we begin, we would like to say thank you for the support you show us. Kindly consider subscribing to our channel and like the video. Revelation 6:1-2. I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest. The first horseman of the apocalypse is a symbolic figure described as riding a white horse and carrying a bow, and on his head sits a crown. He is often seen as a symbol of the forces that will be unleashed in the end times, a symbol of victory and triumph. The white horse and bow represent the spread of the gospel throughout the world and the triumph of good over evil. Others interpret the first horseman as a symbol of conquest and imperialism. While the white horse represents the conqueror, the bow symbolizes power. Another interpretation suggests that the first horseman represents a false prophet or false messiah, with the white horse representing deception and false righteousness. Revelation 6:3-4. When the Lamb opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come." Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make people kill each other. To him was given a large sword. The second horseman of the apocalypse is described as riding a fiery red horse and carrying a large sword. This horseman symbolizes war and conflict and is associated with the suffering and destruction that will occur in the end times. The fiery red horse represents the bloodshed and violence of war, and the large sword represents the destructive power of human conflict. It can be said that the second horseman represents the widespread wars and conflicts that will occur in the end times. It also represents internal strife and conflict, and the fiery red horse and large sword represent the divisions and conflicts that will occur within societies and families, with the fiery red horse and large sword representing the persecution and martyrdom of Christians who refuse to renounce their faith in the face of opposition and persecution. Revelation 6:5-6. When the Lamb opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the 4 living creatures, saying, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine. The third horseman of the apocalypse rides a black horse and carries a pair of scales in his hand. He is a symbol of famine and scarcity. The black horse represents the scarcity of food, and the scales represent the careful measurement and rationing of food, all showing a representation of the widespread famine and hunger that will occur in the end times. Some interpret the third horseman as a symbol of divine judgment, representing the darkness of sin and evil, and the scales representing the careful weighing of deeds before judgment. Revelation 6:7-8. When the Lamb opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by sword, famine and plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth. The fourth horseman appears to be riding a pale or ashen horse. Many interpret the fourth horseman as a symbol of death and the end of life. The pale color of the horse represents the color of a corpse, and the rider's name, Death, is a clear indication of his purpose. Another interpretation suggests that the fourth horseman represents disease and illness. The pale color of the horse represents the pallor of a sick person's skin, and the rider's power to kill with a sword, famine, and pestilence suggests the spread of deadly diseases. The last interpretation of the fourth horseman is as a symbol of divine judgment. The exact interpretation of the four horsemen and their meaning in the book of Revelation is a matter of debate among scholars and theologians, since, as you can see, each horseman has multiple interpretations. However, the overall message of the book of Revelation is that God will ultimately triumph over evil and establish a new heaven and earth, free from sin and suffering.